Listen, saints, some people cannot see a trap because they are too proud to think that they can't be trapped. Some people are so proud, they're so confident in their own abilities, they're so confident and they're so sure about their own expectations that they don't even think they have to examine themselves nor their expectations. They're so invested in relieving themselves, whether it's through escaping with excuses or by escalating on victims. They're so sure of their own expectations that they don't even consider that they may have been tricked. They don't consider that they may have been scammed. This does not even cross their mind. It never comes up in them. So when you tell them that you have a bad feeling about something, they tend to laugh at you, they tend to attack you, they tend to ridicule you. Some even escalate with physical violence on you. Why? Because the idea that they might be tricked or that they're capable of being tricked, they don't want to think about it. When you even suggest that they can be deceived or tricked, it is as if you're attacking them. That is what they call a narcissistic injury in psychology. You reveal reality to them that they don't know everything, that they're not God, that they're not entitled to control, and that they, just like all other human beings, are vulnerable creatures. So listen, some people just can't see a trap. They can't see that a situation will end up bad because they're too proud to see it. That does not mean they're not able to see it. They can see it, they just won't see it. And because they're proud and they persist in their own expectations, even evidence and proof is in their face that something is off, they'll just bypass the evidence as if the evidence never existed. The more they do this, the easier it goes. It becomes like second nature for them to suppress evidence and proof that goes against their own expectations. So eventually, they won't even sense nor notice anything contrary to their own expectations. So their minds become so deformed, they become so mentally ill that they don't even notice any fact in reality that goes against what they expect. Listen, such people are not just delusional, they're dangerous. Let me give an example to you. What if you are from a ghetto in Sweden, for example? You're not from a different ethnic background, you're a native white Swede like all the other people around you. But you're from a ghetto. And because you're from a ghetto, people have the expectation that you're likely a robber, a thief, or a gangbanger, or whatever. They've made up their mind that nothing good can come from you. And every time you force people to recognize your value as a human being, that you matter to, they get upset with you because they are so sure of their social validation that society gives them that it cannot possibly be that anything good comes from a guy from the ghetto, despite you're just as white as them. Now, those people are the same type of people that will fall for get-rich-quick schemes. Or if it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, they will fall for lying politicians that promise them things that will never happen. And when you, who's from the ghetto, hears politicians, you think, hold on a minute, this politician doesn't even sound convincing. How come all those people with master's degrees, doctorates, and all of that fall for this nonsense? I tell you why. Because they're so invested in the social acceptance of society that anything that even suggests that their investment in the social acceptance may be wrong, or that they may have been tricked, or they may have been taken advantage of, they just bypass it. They've been doing this since they were young, so eventually their brains doesn't even register any possibility that they may have done the wrong thing. Their brains don't even register any fact anymore that goes contrary to their expectations. So not only on a mental and emotional level are they deformed, also their brains are deformed so they can't notice actual physical facts that go against what they expect. So even on a physical level, they become deformed over time. So those people bring damage themselves by persisting in those narcissistic expectations. Let's say the moment comes. Let's go back to the example I gave. Let's say you're from this white ghetto in Sweden, and your fellow Swedish people don't think anything good will come from you. Let's say that one day the public is lied to by that politician, and they're all suffering the economic and financial consequences. But you were speaking you were speaking against that politician all along, and eventually history proves that you're right. Are people going to say to you, you know what, we're sorry how we treated you, you're right, we were wrong, we were taken advantage of? No. When it comes out that you were right all along, and they're the ones suffering the consequences of persisting in an investment that left them bankrupt, what is going to happen? Instead of being upset with themselves for not questioning their own expectations, instead of being upset with the ones that tricked them and sabotaged them and lied to them, they'll be upset with you because, A, they never want to admit that they may have been tricked. And now they felt better about themselves by looking down on you. So they need you to be worse off than them for them to be at ease. The moment you're better off than them, and they're the ones suffering all the consequences of their delusions, they fall apart mentally, and they can't handle that. The moment they fall apart mentally, they will mentally decompose, and they will become suicidal and homicidal towards one another. So that's why for them as a community, they need you, the scapegoat, to be lower than them. So they will come after you to exterminate you so that there's no evidence that they were wrong. So this has nothing to do with skin color, even though for some people skin color matters because they're invested in white supremacy. But apart from white supremacy, this happens all over the world. Worldlings create victims to violate so they don't have to face themselves. That's the world. It happens amongst blacks, amongst whites, amongst Asians, amongst Arabs, amongst Hispanics. It happens. So I'm telling you, some people don't want to face the fact that they can be scammed. Some people can't even notice it anymore because they're so deformed. The facts are there, but they just don't notice the facts anymore. Because even on a biological level, they have been deformed. So stop expecting better from such people. You can't expect better from people who persist in losing. Stop doing it. So, says for now, keep an agreement with Christ and be at peace.